What is up, everybody? Welcome to yet another live stream. My name's Lewis, also known as MrCameraJunkie. Welcome back, crew members. If it's your first time here, make sure that you make yourself known in the comments here and in the chat so that we can give you the Camera Junkie crew greeting. Whew. Today has been a day, and it's been like, I see somebody left me a message, said the mic was open. I guess I don't think I said anything incorrectly, but it's been one of those days. But like I said, welcome back. Thank you for spending your time here with me. And wow, what a week, what a day. Today I just barely made the live stream. I think I'm even a little behind. I'm running a little Doc Rock, you know, so just well, I'm glad that we're here, we're live streaming, and hopefully I sound okay. So with that being said, Let me say what's up to everyone here in the chat. Let's see who's here. Okay. So we have Mr. Paul Duncan in the house. What's up, sir? I think this is your first live stream here in the Camera Junkie crew. Welcome. Melanie is back. How are you doing? Welcome as always. Okay, Peter saying mic's open. And so is Paul. You see, these were the messages I saw. Greetings, everyone. Okay, Sammy Superstars in the house. Mr. Tom Buck. How are you doing, sir? Mr. T Bizzle. We have Todd. Mr. Christmas Clatter. Thank you. And Kevin Cox. Mr. Jim Mundy. Thank you, sir. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you hanging out here. Okay, and now we're going to get things started. Right off the bat, people of video. Whew. Well, for those of you who don't know, People of Video is a video conference for creators, by creators for creators. And it's actually been completely done by another fellow creator from the channel Creator Fundamentals. His name's Dan Courier, and he wanted to kind of spread the love, and he was on the ENN with Anna and Fulgens on Monday, and he was talking about this conference that's coming up this following week. Oh, come on, Aiden. Aiden's pulling on me. Come on, buddy. This guy. Okay. Come on. Guest appearance by the man of honor, Aiden. Okay. It looks like he just wants to rock with Daddy. Alright, so we're going to do this. Well, like I was saying, the People of Video conference held by Dan Courier is coming up this following week. And for those of you who have been here in the live stream before, you know that I have already put my intention to try to make it there. There's so many great creators, so many people that I am in contact with that I want to actually meet in person. But with that being said, going back to the People of Video conference, Dan was talking to Anna and Fulgens just last Monday, and he was talking about how he wanted to like kind of spread the love. Because right now, this week, Vid Summit just finished closing off over there in California, and you know, even though it was canceled prior to that, there's a lot of conventions that happen on the West Coast. So because he knew that there was so many creators on the East Coast that he wanted to like spread the love and created this conference, People of Video, held in Albany, New York, and I believe the first one was in 2019, and then because of said lockdowns, we didn't have one in 2021. But things have changed and we're moving forward with our lives, and that being said, it looks like it's all all signs are go, all lights are green for the People of Video conference coming up this following week, October 8th, 9th, and 10th. So some of the creators that are going to be there, let me just highlight this. Let me switch to that scene. I believe I have my iPad set up. Okay, perfect. So this is the People of Video conference, and this is what we're looking at. As it says, it's been way too long, and we're thrilled to be gathering in Albany on October 8th through the 10th for the People of Video 2021. And as you can see right there, we have some familiar faces like Doc Rock, Diana Gladney, for those of you in the LGL fam. But then we also have, like Roberto Blake, Shelly Saves the Day, Owen Video, Brian G. Johnson, and many more. Let's go over here to the speakers. As you can see, Meredith Marsh. This is just look, Professor Nez. Professor Nez, you guys have heard me talk about Professor Nez plenty here, that I'm always in his live streams on Sunday morning. So after I close out the Camera Junkie stream, I'm always in his stream the following morning to the afternoon. It's 12:30 to like around 2:30, 1 o'clock. 2:30, 3 o'clock ish sometimes. And you can see, look at that, Roger Wakefield. So many great creators that are going to be at this event, and this is like a much more personal event, like for creators. And I had said my intentions that I wanted to go there, um, and I have done everything in my power, and I am continuing to do everything in my power to try to make this convention. As of right now, the goals of getting there, my biggest obstacle as of right now, which I'm still trying to figure out, is transportation. I'm not gonna have the ability to fly, and it looks like I'm gonna have Aiden with me as well, because I'm not going to have help with that as well. So what I had in mind was that I was going to rent a car, and I'm still trying to figure it out, because I think that if I leave Monday, maybe Tuesday in the morning at the latest, I should still have time enough to make it over there to Orlando and see if I make it this like prolonged road trip. Um, that way, I have the ability, in controlling my time, to actually make this trip, because I really, really don't want to miss it. And it's tough because there's been obstacles that have presented themselves in this past month. Um, my brother, so many different things. But if if I don't make it to people of video, it's not gonna be because of a lack of trying. I'm still not, I'm still not calling it in, so to speak. I'm basically gonna be trying to get to this conference, like until there is no more conference. So that's my mindset on it, and I'm really, I'm still keeping like all my hopes up. Things have been tough, but right now my personal vehicle is giving a little bit of overheating issues, so I also don't trust it to take the trip. I would much rather actually get a rental vehicle, and I think that's gonna be the best option for me to take the road trip to New York and back. But it really just really depends if I can pull the strings and get the things to to, how would you say, to manifest. Say hi, buddy. This is the boss man. For those of you who don't know, this is Aiden Alexander Vega. This is my son. He is the reason why I do everything that I do, and he runs the show. So if he says it's daddy time and he wants to be on my shoulder, that's what's gonna happen. Oh, now it looks like he's getting curious. That's my stream deck. What are we doing? I'm gonna put you down, puppy. But yeah, him being my priority, number one over everything, is probably the biggest reason why I'm thinking that if I do end up making it, it's probably gonna be a road trip. And if this comes to fruition, I was also thinking that I'm probably going to document the entire thing, road trip. I might even do live streams, from the road, because I'm gonna make it a whole big thing. But that's the idea that I have in mind. Like I said, I'm still looking at it as like glass half full, and yeah, I think that's it. Let me go check back in with the chat to see exactly what's going on. All right, where did I leave this here? Okay, so it was Jim Mundi. Hopefully, I'm saying that correct. Let me know if it's Monday or Monday. Like, I don't know, even know if I said it differently there. Monday or Monday. That's what I was trying to say. Like, I guess the inflection. Number one or number two? All right. Rich is saying Heidi to everyone. Kevin, everyone remember to hit that like button on the way in. Thank you very much. Eddie Garrison, sir, I would like to personally welcome you to the Camera Junkie crew. I just received notice pretty much before I went live that he's my newest subscriber, the newest member to the Camera Junkie crew. So, thank you for saying hi. We're Facebook friends, but now he is part of the crew. So, thank you for making yourself known and get the welcome from everybody here. Oh, Paul said I was here for the first time last week. See, it's all running together. Last week I was still recovering from the 84 hours of leap. Says Oscar Palafox. I've been looking at this camera for so long, but I don't know if I should buy it. Please let me know which camera that it is that you're talking about. Also, with that information, let me know what it is that you want the camera to do. What is it that you're looking to get out of your camera? Is it stills photography? Is it video? Is it like live streaming, like Twitch streaming? Same thing, Let me know what it is that you're looking to get the camera to do, and what camera it is that you're talking about, and I can give you my 2 cents on it. Eddie says I'll be there and speaking twice at that event. You see, that's another person that I would like to get to meet. So I'm trying my best. I'm still, like I said, I'm looking at a glass half full, or coffee mug half full. I got my coffee here. I was literally setting it up while setting up the stream. That's why I was a little behind. Says this stuff. I think he's talking about my dad, the dad stuff. Sammy says, wow, you're so motivated. That's so cool. Hey, man, like I said. Oh, Sammy says you can drive with the Nixons. Actually, I can't. The Nixons aren't going, and that's what I'm saying. I'm looking at every option that I have available to me. Doc mentioned that, he's like, all you have to do is get to Orlando. And I'm like, what's at Orlando? What's there? Because Orlando's pretty close to me, And then he was like, yeah, just hop a ride with the Nixons. I called the Nixons like the next day, as soon as I can get in contact with them. And they let me know. They're like, yeah, we're not driving. We're not going. We can't make it. We're too busy. There's too many things with, like, I believe with their daughter and the business, that they're not going to make the event at all. So I was like, okay, great. That's completely off the table. But what I do have is that I have like my ticket taken care of, and I also have like where to stay taken care of. The only thing is I need to get my behind over there to partake in the conference, And I believe, Sam, and I believe you're supposed to be there, We're supposed to look at your A6100. It says late night stream, brother, every Saturday. This is Club Camera Junkie. This is what we do here. We hang out from 11 to like, I would say 1. Sometimes it goes to 2, just depending on how much fun we're having. All right. It says Mini Camera Junkie. Yep. The boss man. I love that voice so much. He's my biggest distraction, and I absolutely love it. I can't. Sometimes, I still have to speak to him and like let him know. One of his latest things was that, like, you saw how I was just holding him. He takes his hand right here, right next to my neck, and he's starting to pinch me. And the first time he did it, he pinched me really hard, And I was just so surprised that I started laughing. As soon as I started laughing, he took it as a game, and he's like, oh, this is a game now. And now every time that he wants to like kind of mess with me, he starts pinching my neck really hard, and he's left marks on me, even to the point where some of them have even like scabbed over because of how bad he's pinched me and it's like, scratched me up. So I've had to like let him know that even though I found it funny and I laughed at first, which was my mistake, that's something that I couldn't have happen. So I just had to like, Aiden, no, and he understands, So I just found that hilarious because he's a trip. Jared Spinks in the house. What is up? Wow, that's loud. Let's bring that down a bit. That should be better. We'll test it on the next one. Monday. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that, sir. Okay, he's saying welcome. Ahmad, how are you doing, sir? Welcome to the Camera Junkie live stream. Thank you for saying hello. As always, like I said, thank you for saying hello. I always tell everyone, like, thank you for making yourself known. I want to let everyone else know that Ahmad is actually from Professor Nez's stream. He's someone that I met through that chat, and just an amazing person. Super cool to have you here, man. It says inspiring to see. It says inspiring to see you do what you do. Feels so nice seeing your son too. You're an inspiration to dads. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Donald Oliver's in the house. Look at this. We got quite a few here in the house. We got 13 people here. Nano, tech for your needs. Sammy says, I might not go to the trip. Would be hard to go on the train and ticket. It would be a lot if I went for one day. Okay. Well, I was, just to let you know, I'm also looking forward to meeting you if you do end up there, and myself as well. Jerry said, what conference? The People of Video conference. I don't know if you were here for the other part here. Aiden's excited for the conference, if you could hear him. This is it. This is the People of Video conference. Let me see if I can go back to the home. We got some virtual pass. Let's see. Maybe the schedule gives a little bit more information. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, this is the People of Video conference that's happening. This is the East Coast kickoff, so to speak. And yeah, this is what I've been really, ever since I heard about this event. And it's just, one of the biggest things for me also is just Doc Rock, because I know that I'm going to meet the man, but I also don't want to squander any opportunity, because he's coming all the way to the East Coast from Hawaii. So it's like, I'll be damned if I'm not doing putting in my biggest effort to meet that man at that conference. And then on top of that, someone that I also admire that I followed for a long time, Brian G. Johnson, he kind of called me out, man. And it was the coolest thing for me. I was on one of his live streams. I think I mentioned it before. And he was like, hey, Mr. Camera Junkie, like, are you going to one of these events? I really hope to meet you, brother. And I was like, oh, man. Like, that is, like, extra incentive for me to put in all of my effort to try to make this conference. So it's like so many incredible people that I want to meet and thank in person. And like Doc says, give people their flowers while they're here. And I really don't want to miss that opportunity. So that's why we're talking about it. But also that it's this week. It's coming up, like I said, in less than a week. In next Saturday, if everything goes well, I should be hosting my live stream from the hotel in Albany, New York. And that is the vision that I have. You understand? Live streaming from Albany nighttime, and and it's perfect because my live streams start at 11, so all the events of the day are going to be consumed, and it's like, go to the room and then hang out with all you amazing people. It's going to be awesome. Sammy says, also worried about the C thing. I'm not worried about that. I'm more worried about getting my butt over to that conference. I would go to the New York for that part. Says, I see some mics on your tabs. Oh, probably. I'm always looking up stuff, man. I'm always looking up different items, different things. One of the things that I've been looking for mostly is like which I have not found, and I'm not even sure if I could find because just the type of like construction that you would get for a dynamic microphone, I don't think you would find like this. I believe the only one that I know of is probably the Shure Super 55. That's like a super cardioid or a cardioid pattern. That's, I believe, still dynamic and still front address. I might end up picking one up. Hey, Dancy Bearded is in the house. Hey, man, I just gotta tell you, you freaking rock these live streams, dude. Yo, I caught a live stream from Dancy Bearded, and I, my bad. It was like my first one that I ever caught, and it was recently, like a couple weeks ago. And dude, his comments are flying. His comments are flying like this, and they're on slow mode with like 200-second wait, and they're just going. And he's just like fish in a barrel, just ping, 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 ping. Dude. I gotta watch some more of your streams to get some tips to learn because that was fire, man. That was super cool, and so many people in the bearded community. Just in that live stream, I learned so much that I'm like, man, I've definitely been neglecting my beard. I definitely need to put some more TLC into it because I should have a longer beard. Like all of this is like scrunched up because I haven't done anything with it. Like when I pull this down, it's like, let me see if I can. Like it's down here. You understand? But like I said, I don't even address it. So right now it's like I could give it a couple of good inches, like when I just pull it down. But I haven't really done anything with my beard, so I definitely need to learn some more from you, sir, and see what I get to help my beard situation. All right. Sammy says that the MV7X would be great. Yeah, but you see, that's the whole thing. That's exactly what I'm saying. That's still not a front addressed like this. See? I just love the look of this microphone, but it being a condenser, it picks up everything that my, boss man does in the background. And I do my best to try to tone that down. But I know that if I get a dynamic, it's going to really take it to that next level where I don't have to worry about a lot of those sounds. And as soon as I pull away, it's just going to condense the sound right there. But I haven't found one that's like this. I found the ones that are like top addressed, like that, which is like the Pod mic, the SM7B, the MV7, or the MV7X. There's a new one from Presonus, which is also kind of like I think it's called the PD80. That one is like similar to a MV7, SM7B, kind of like a clone. All those letters right there literally just had a dyslexic moment. Um, yeah, so it's kind of like a clone of the SM7B. It's also dynamic, sounds good, and I actually think that one's like $80, and it's got a very similar aesthetic. When it comes to visuals to it, instead of having a Y yoke, it literally has like just a one-sided yoke. That's one of the more recent ones, but that's still like top addressed. And I think it's just because of the type of microphones that they are so low sounding that they actually need to put the capsule instead of like this, kind of like on top bass, and then try to funnel as much sound so that it eliminates all the other sound and you can get like right up on it and actually get the quality sound without getting the background noise that you would get off of that. But that's kind of my search right now for a microphone. I'm hoping to see if I find something dynamic that looks like this, that looks front facing, like I mentioned before, the only one that I've seen that's been front facing that I would actually use is probably the Shure 55 or the Super 55, and I'm still looking. There's so many different mics. I've gone down the microphone rabbit hole. I don't know about you guys, but definitely, um, there's this rapper, freestyle rapper that I've binged his content. His name is Harry Mack. He has this entire series called Omegle Bars, and it's to me it's like really good content because it's original, and then on top of that, it's like bingeable and like rewatchable. Like it's almost like a series that you can go back to and rewatch and almost enjoy as much in the replay as you do when you first watch it. Um, he's got quite a few different series, but the one that I'm really like particular to is his more popular one called Omegle Bars, where I really I'm kind of a noob to all of this stuff, right? So I didn't even know what this Omegle website was, and if you don't know, then don't feel bad because I was right there with you. It's basically like a person-to-person connection app where it kind of has like the premises of speed dating, right? Where you can just connect to random people based on similar interest. So what he was doing was basically just connecting with people like that, um, speaking with them, and then getting them to give him two or three words where he implements like on the spot in form of freestyle or what's called off the dome, off of the top of the brain while he's improvising all of the lyrics. And he's got amazing content. Um, I've been binge watching him for a while, and like I said, it just gives me a different perspective of like all the different platforms and all the people that can create on this platform and basically do whatever it is that you want. Like he's been using a particular microphone called the Peluso, and that's why you saw me because I'm trying to remember the exact name. Um, and that's what I'm saying. I look at all the content, whether I'm binging it for complete entertainment purposes or not. Like, even though I'm looking at that information, right, or enjoying it, I'm still breaking it down as a content creator. It's a beautiful microphone, so I looked into that one. That one runs like $6,000, and I was like, but it's a very interesting microphone because it also led me down an entire rabbit hole of tube microphones and the way that they are actually interfaced, because they don't use XLR, they actually use like a 9-pin connector. And because of the 9-pin connection, not only do you get a like rich warm sound out of a tube microphone, but on top of that, what ends up happening is that you actually have like the box has all the different polar patterns, so that you can go from like super cardioid to omnidirectional, and everything built in to a single capsule just because of the waveforms. It is like super interesting. But then also learn that to get into tube microphones, they are so delicate, and that you almost have to use them on a continuous basis to keep the tubes like in use, because if not, then it's almost like if you don't lose it, you what is it if you don't use it, you lose it. That's kind of like a rule that happens with tube microphones. But microphones is a whole nother form of technology that I've been learning more and more about. I'm a camera junkie, and I'm pretty well versed on the ins and outs of cameras, but microphones is a whole nother monster, man. Super interesting. And don't even get me started on waveforms, because waveforms are just so interesting to me. People get scared of them, and I'm so interested in waveforms, whether they be for audio or video. Oh, that's I'm nerding out right now. Art Carrasco's in the house. What's up? Says, where would you fly from? Miami? Yeah, I would fly from Miami or like whatever airport is closest because it's either Hollywood International Airport or Miami International Airport. But I'm pretty much dead center into middle. I believe the Hollywood International Airport is like easiest for me, but yeah, it's still South Florida. Says Dan is fire. Yeah, he's great, man. Real Raymond is in the house. Says, wow, I actually caught one of these before you signed off. How's life, Lewis? I'm doing good, man. Thank you. As I've been talking, I'm trying to get to people of video in Albany, New York. Excuse me. I'm actually trying to get to this conference, the People of Video conference. I'm doing everything that I can. We're trying to figure it out. But as far as life is great. I have zero complaints. I'm hanging out with so many amazing people. We got 17 people right now. I usually forget to say this, but if you haven't, please hit the like button. It goes a long way. Okay, Dan's laughing. He's saying, haha, thanks, brother. Learning from the pros like you, no cap. I love watching all the streams in the community. Right? It's like so amazing. Like, I can honestly tell you that I don't even know how I got any work done today. Because it was like, I woke up this morning at 9 a.m. Eastern to catch my first live stream, which is like my religious live stream, my Saturday morning Nicktoons with Nick Nimmin and the Nimminati, and that's 3 hour live stream while I'm setting up my entire day, getting my son ready, and setting up everything. I got Nick Nimmin on the stream, in the chat, and just like learning every week. Give it like he stops at noon, 12:30, and then I get a little break, which is what I call lunch, before Doc Rock starts his live stream at 2 o'clock. Sometimes you also have video influencers, which is Benji Travis and Sean Cannell, who actually do a video influencers like live stream podcast interview in that time slot at 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock. So sometimes I'm in that live stream. So it's like going from Nick Nimmin 12:30, even sometimes 1 o'clock, to right into the video influencers, right into Doc Rock's stream, right? And then his streams usually run a little late to take a break and then hop right into the Zoom call, which is the drop squad class for those Doc Rock drop squad class, which is a Zoom meeting where we are all like content creators helping content creators, you know, hashing out like our technical difficulties, our like emotional difficulties, just an amazing community and an amazing group of people that are. I can honestly tell you, I have so much fun here. That's a whole different discussion because it's just a trip and it's Doc Rock. So that usually tends to finish up like around 7 Eastern time, to then take another small break before India Delgado starts her live streams. She was starting her live streams at 8 o'clock, but this week she started at 9 o'clock, ran it for like an hour and a half, and she finished up just before I went live. And then it's like, as soon as I'm done with all that, somehow I fit my phone repairs and just being a full-time dad mixed in through all of this to then actually just say, grab a cup of coffee and start my live streams at 11 p.m. Eastern time and run these till 2 o'clock in the morning. It's like, this is my weekend. And I can't tell you that I would have it any other way, because I absolutely love being here in this creative space. This is where I want to be. I was just speaking to Doc about this, that I'm doing, for those of you who also don't know, I'm also venturing off into freelance video editing for content creators who might be looking for their first editor. I'm already working with Doc Rock, and I've been doing some other freelance editing jobs on the side where I want to completely transition into that field of work so that I can stay in the creative space. Because, in all sincerity, it's even though it's similar, it's completely different when my mind shifts to like iPhone mode, and somebody calls me and they're asking questions about iPhone, and everything just goes into my electronics background, and I'm thinking about problem solving that aspect. That as soon as I'm like done with the phone call, whether it is that I'm actually going to do repair or something that I was able to solve over the phone, however it may be, I am not like in the same creative space as it was like if I was creating content for my cameras or for my channel in that aspect. So it is very different. It's very distinct. But if I am video editing, the way that I see it is that even if it's not for me per se, I could still come up with a use case scenario that will help me in this same space and help me become the better creator that I want to become on this platform, and doing that by spending most of my time doing exactly that. Hopefully that made sense. Hopefully hopefully I was able to convey that correctly. Okay, so Art saying, Dancy Beard, see all the streams I just subbed to you? My beard is coming back slowly. It's such a big beard community, and Dan really showed me, just hang out in one of his live streams, and was just blown away. I'm 30 minutes away from New York City. That's not that far, Sammy. Somebody was talking about New York and the traffic is like, it just depends on what 30 minutes is, If 30 minutes to get there or 30 minutes to get into the city, because that's two different monsters. So thanks. Dan is saying thanks to Art. Says I have a Super 55 that I can see if I can find and give you one for free if you want it. Are you serious, Sammy? I would love it, but I would have we would have to work that out. I would so appreciate it because they're hard to find, but it's the only one, like I said, that I found that's front addressing. But that's super kind of you, Sammy. Let's see if I make it to Albany. You understand? And maybe maybe we can work something out. Says, oh nice, Sammy. I'm in Long Island right now. I was an amazing wedding tonight. 12-hour drive from home to Michigan. Wow. Look at that. That's so awesome. Mulani TV. Hi there, mister. So he's saying, Mr. Camera Junkie, how are you doing, sir? Also, let me welcome you to the Camera Junkie crew. I did receive a message, I believe, this past week, and I saw it just this morning. Yes, that you are a new member to the crew. So welcome, sir, and thank you for saying hello. Dan says, love Harry Mack. He's the best content. So entertaining. The reactions are the best. Yeah, look, that's a whole nother rabbit hole. I love Harry Mack for that reason. Because it's not like a reaction channel, but you're getting genuine reactions from the people that he's connecting with. And then that doesn't even go into play that the dude is sick. Dude is sick, and if you I'm already all the way to 51 on the Omegle bars. I just, whenever I'm working on something here, I will go into his channel and just put that playlist to play and just I want to listen to this stuff because he is on another level, right? So those of you who haven't checked it out and are slightly interested in this, you might want to check out Harry Mack because it's like he said, it's such he's got such good energy. He's all about positive energy and in lifting fellow humans, fellow people in general, and he does a really good job at it. He really does. He does an amazing job, and I'm a huge fan of Harry Mack. He took this past year by storm, excuse me, and I believe he's well past 1 million subscribers now on this platform, and that's exactly what I mean about YouTube. That it's like this rabbit hole that the more you fall into, you're just like, there is so much success on this platform. There is so much stinking freaking success on this platform that it is ridiculous. Because he did a collaboration with a pianist by the name Marcus Veltri, right? And this is one of his later kind of Omegle bars. And in that collaboration, I was then made privy of Marcus Veltri, which is another amazing creator. And he has 4 million, like 4.5 million subscribers. So he's an even bigger content creator on this platform than Harry Mack. But the thing that amazes me is not their subtotals. It is the content that they're creating. It is, like I said, really good energy, wholesome. It's bingeable and rewatchable. And even though I know I bring like education and fun here to my channel, they, when it comes to music entertainment, it has a replay value that's all on its own. And I've always said this, and this is an entire different conversation, but it has to do with the difference between like stand-up comedy and like music artists. Because to put it as simple as I can possibly, right? As soon as a comedian has a set well and polished, right? It's comparative to just one song of a like music artist. And one song could be 3 minutes, and yet your set could be an hour-long special on Showtime. The biggest difference is that once you put your comedy show on Showtime, you can't go around the country repeating the same jokes that people already heard and expect to get the same type of reaction. It's almost like as soon as you make that content as a comedian, it's almost like you've sacrificed that content and it can never be redone because you did it. Comparative to a music artist, where if you have a beloved song, you're actually required to continuously play that song the same exact way as your studio album edit, because a lot of people would almost even get upset if they go to your concert and you play like a remix version of their favorite song. They're gonna be like, what'd you do? Why'd you ruin it? No, I wanted all the nostalgia. And they get to like cash in on that one song, the one hit wonders of the world, over and over and over and over again. Like Led Zeppelin is still touring, I believe, or something like that, which is like ridiculous. But that just goes to show you. I could be wrong. I don't know if it's them or Kiss. One of them two. But that's exactly what I'm saying. Like the differences between the two different mediums as far as entertainment is very distinct. So let me know if you guys disagree or agree on what I said. Dan says, I like it when I was on the streets, but Omegle is even better. Yes, and I think the reason why the Omegle bars are so much better is because of the fact that he was able to improve a lot more with the more practice that he got in Omegle bars. I think like every time he sat down, he was able to get more people to say yes to him doing the freestyle. The off the dome rapping comparative than him going up to strangers, cold and just being like, hey, can I rap for you? It was just a different medium. And because I think that he was able to get more people to say yes to him through the website, he was able to, sharpen his skills even better. It says random video chat website. Yeah, basically. That's a much better way of explaining it. But the whole thing is, I didn't even know of that website until I found Harry Mack, and then I was just like, "What is going on?" Like a whole obscure part of the internet. Tom and Heather fell in love with the 512 audio skylight front addressed, I believe. Yes, but that's also a condenser, and it sounds good. Like I believe this one sounds good as well, but this one would also benefit a lot from having correct sound treatment, and not having an air conditioning and stuff, in the background. And what they say about condenser mics is absolutely true. They hear the neighbor's mouse fart in the other house. Like it picks up everything. Like what I hear through here is so amazing because I'm like, I didn't know all the appliances here made so much noises, but this will pick it up and enhance it, and then I hear it. It's crazy. It says the heli fin mic may be an option. I'm gonna check that one out. Thank you, sir. I'm gonna put a star on that comment so that I can go back to it. It says the quality of his video and audio is so fire. It is. And that's why I think Harry Mack is so gangster, because he's just next level. A lot of these Omegle bars sound polished. They sound almost mastered, like ready for CD. Like, just take that right there. Sometimes I wish, like, you know what? Never know. If I ever meet Harry Mack, I'm gonna tell him, sir, you need to get on Ecamm to do these Omegle things, and you need to start using ISO audio so that you can isolate their audio versus yours, and you can really take everything that you do and clean it up to be completely polished music, because you can eliminate the noise that you're getting from the response, from the people on the other side. I've heard a lot of his songs that I think that I was like, oh, if they would just like be quiet, like this would be a polished track. But I think you know what I mean. So some of you have no idea what I'm talking about, right? But if you watch Harry Mack, you will absolutely understand everything that I'm saying. It says, I know this song, LOL, I used this song before. Yeah, I use everything from Epidemic Sound. So Epidemic Sound is my sound provider of choice. For me, the only thing missing with Epidemic Sound is an app, like a legit Android or iPhone app that allows me to easily like listen to the music, almost like if it was Spotify, and just add my favorites to my own list. Boom. Like my list would be 16, 20 hours long. Like I would just be on it all day, just listening to all, like I would literally go through the archive of them. But it's just I'm not always in front of the computer, and that's mostly when I'm able to check out their music. Excuse me. Art says, Lewis, I got a pod mic. I don't mind letting you try it out for a while if you're interested. Says Art. Yeah, but you see, like I was looking at the pod mic, but it's also top addressed. Like if I was looking at the microphone, I would have to. This would be my new shot, so to speak. If that makes sense. I don't even know if you guys could really hear me. Probably muffled as hell. Okay, so you see, like a top dress, like it will. This will be my new shot, and I really like this old school, look. Like I love this. I'm running a blank right now. Not the pop filter. This thing, the noise reducer thing. My God, I can't believe I'm running such a brain fart. I cannot remember the name of that right now. I'm just gonna let it go. It's gonna hit me when I'm further down. I'll be like, this thing. Oh man. Somebody's gonna write it in chat. I'm gonna get to it a little bit later. Mr. Dancy Beer saying fire. Oh, Kippy's in the house saying, hey, Lewis and everyone. How are you doing, sir? Thank you for stopping by. For you, it is noon. Having lunch. If we can schedule something, I can try to set up with you and some mics. That sounds cool, man. Yeah, Sammy, you know what? Hit me up. Yeah, hit me up through the LGL, through Facebook. You know, yeah, hit me up through Facebook. That's how you've messaged me before. Absolutely. We'll talk offline. Yeah. Hey, Hassan. Oh, awesome that you're here, Hassan. Hopefully you're hearing me because I know I'm a little Diana on the comments right now. Yeah, I'm a good 15 minutes behind. Okay, Hassan, hopefully you're still here. I spoke to Sylvia from Preston Soap. I got your message about the shipping, but then there was a completely different other issue. They were able to ship everything out to everyone else, but you, sir, are in Australia, and there is nothing that we can do because Australia's lockdown is not permitting anything from the United States right now. They're just not accepting any mail. So message me through the Just Create More or however you did before, right? Message me to see what options you want to take because they also let me know if you want a refund, like we can go ahead and work that out for you for the merchandise. But if not, then we can just wait so that as soon as the lockdown is lifted and they're able to receive the mail, that you'll be getting that shipped out to you as soon as possible. But it's up to you. So, like I said, message me, send me a direct message, and let me know what you would like to do. Okay. Somebody says, wow, busy day. Yeah, somehow I was able to fix some iPhones in between. Says Hokey Smokes. Monster Day. Traffic is bad, yes. And one thing that I receive in traffic every day in South Florida, and this is without fail, is rain. Like there's never been a day that I don't meet two things in South Florida, which is traffic and rain. It is just part of my everyday. So when people get all upset and all this in traffic, I'm just like, I'm almost zen at that moment because I know that there's nothing that I can do to avoid it. It's going to happen. So why am I gonna let that get me upset? So I just let it happen. And there's it could be a bright sunny day. It could be a bright sunny day. I make a left turn and it looks like a hurricane. Then that's South Florida. That's how fast the weather shifts and everything moves around here because we're flat. So there's really not a lot that a weather has to like stop against. Or, there's not mountains that it has to go over, so it won't really slow down winds. And as fast as they can travel, that's how fast they can bring and leave a thunderstorm in South Florida all the time. It says People of Video in New York is another part of 3 hours away from New York. Yeah, exactly, because it's in Albany, which is, I believe, upstate and more towards the west. Scott is in the house saying greetings from West Michigan. He says, hey Scott, I'm originally from Whitehall, Michigan, living in the east side now. That's cool. He says, I visit Whitehall regularly. I'm down here in Ski Town. Hopefully I said that correctly. Kali is in the house saying, hey Mr. Camera Junkie, good evening, good people. Okay, so Mulani says he agrees. What did I ask to agree about? Oh, I think that was the comedy versus music. Okay, so I was wrong. It says breaking news: Led Zeppelin's touring again. This is huge. So no, then I guess it's Kiss. Then I guess it's Kiss that was still running around here, I was way off. Okay, so the Rolling Stones just played St. Louis. a few nights ago. Okay, that's cool. All right, Inspirational Connection TV saying hello to everyone. Welcome back. Yo, Epidemic has tons of Spotify playlists you can binge. I gotta check that out. I totally quit my Spotify when I actually got Epidemic. That was one of the things that I did. I was just like, I had a couple of different like music um, programs like that I was paying like $10, Apple Music and Spotify. Then I was like, I could be spending that money on music that I could actually use for my YouTube, because the majority of Spotify, like secular music, you couldn't use, which was what and how I was using Spotify at that moment. Like now, I'd probably use it a little bit different, understanding more. But then that's what I had on there. So I was like, why am I spending money on music that I can't use? Let me take that away and then use that towards like an Epidemic subscription. And I've had it ever since. Absolutely love it. It's just the convenience, and a lot has to be said about that. The convenience of making things easy to download. And me personally, I don't like lyrics in my music. I like just having, there's some songs that just go in there, but I'll tell you the truth. The biggest thing with me in lyrics is that a lot of times they say something that's completely off base to, I guess, me, and I find that what the lyrics that they're saying are just really irrelevant, or in other words, stupid. And if I find that the lyrics are stupid, I would like to have the ability to still enjoy the music, the sounds, by removing whatever I find or deem to be irrelevant. So that's just the way that I work, and that's why I really prefer Epidemic Sound, because even if a song's lyrics is not something that I really like partake in, I'm still able to download the stems and utilize the music the way that I like. Thank you, Kevin. Man, yo, straight blank. No lie. Straight blank. I'm like, that thing, the shock mount, so that you don't hear when I move it. And I'll tell you the truth, this has actually been really good. Like, I'm tapping this. That's me hitting the spring that most people be like, don't hit the spring. And this is not an expensive scissor arm that I'm dealing with here. But this shock mount, all day. But I gotta take a look at that microphone that somebody had mentioned before. I started that comment, so I can go back to it. But thanks again, Kevin. Super moderator, helping me out, man. Helping me out with my brain fart. It says, need to go. Nice to see you. I'll keep in touch. Bye. All right. Thanks for stopping by, man. It says, all good, Lewis. I will text you. Okay, perfect. It says, the borders in Australia are still pretty locked down. Leave the country since all started back in 2020. Yeah, exactly. So we'll be in contact. Message me through there. Yeah, because she just called me, I think it was Friday, when she was like, look, she was trying to find every way to send this package out to you. It's just like nobody's accepting. So, but we'll talk. Kevin says, haha, rain makes traffic worse, even in the San Francisco Bay Area. Yes. Caleb McCool's in the house. How are you doing, sir? Says you can listen to all of the music from Epidemic Sound from their profile on Spotify. See? That's good to know. That's good to know. See? Thank you for that bit of information. See, but I was just giving you my use case that I was like, why am I paying for this when I could pay for that? So that's what I did, and I've been using Epidemic since. The other reason why, right? Like now, I would probably go to Spotify and use that playlist to listen to that music. But I also like the features that are built into the Epidemic website. So, for example, every time I log into the Epidemic website, if you don't have this, like if you're not using Epidemic, this is free, right? Every time I log into my Epidemic website, it gives me like 5 or 10 brand new music options based on the music that I already have in my catalog. for, like what I have on my favorites and playlists and so on and so forth. Another thing is that they have an icon there of a Venn diagram, basically like two intercrossing circles that just says songs that are similar to it, songs that fall into the same similar type categories. And that's probably one of my favorite for discovery of new music. So let's say it's a song that I hear for the first time, but as I'm hearing it, oh, that's a pretty big mosquito. Okay, the first time that I'm hearing it, I like it, and I'm like, oh, that sounds good, right? So of course I'm gonna put it in like my favorites so that I can listen to it later to see if it's something that I would actually use. But at the end of that song, it'll go to a song that's completely different from that style of music. I would literally go back to the previous song that I just favored, hit the Venn diagram button, and now I have a list of all of the songs within the within Epidemic that fall into the same type of categories. I don't know how Spotify works. I don't know if they have an update that works just the same way. They could, because I have not been using it for years now. But like I said, that's why I switched over to them. And then the last thing about that was that I also couldn't make extra time to listen to secular music or like music that you would find on the radio and have that be part of me, so to speak, and also have time for Epidemic and learn the artists that I've learned on that platform now. So it's very different because now I have favorite artists that are particular to Epidemic, and I could care less what Cardi B's making. Like that's just not that I ever did, but just for example, like it's not music that I'd be using anyway. So like, just X-Nate done so. Dean Reynolds Media is in the house. Says, question: my LCD on my Sony A6400 is shattered, but it's costing me over $300 to replace. Is there a cheaper way? Yes, there could be a cheaper way, but who's charging you $300? And that would be my question. Like, how do you know it's $300? Is somebody charging you $300? And if they're well versed in it, you might want to spend the money just to make sure that you get the job done correctly. The way that you can do it cheaper is by getting the parts yourself, right? Getting the parts yourself. You can go on eBay or something like that. Put in the like your A6400, look for an LCD, and do the job yourself. The risk is that you can go in there trying to fix your LCD and mess up a lot more stuff while you're trying to fix one thing, and you end up breaking a lot more. That could be a lot more expensive than $300. So it's really up to you. But the cheapest alternative for any repair is to do it yourself. And if you feel like that you're savvy enough to do it, I would say go for it. I don't think that that's something that would be too difficult. But disclaimer, I'm a repair technician. Taking apart electronics, fixing iPhones and stuff like that is what I do, is what I've done my entire life. So taking apart a camera, that's cake for me, but if you don't have the eye, if you don't know what you're looking for, okay, then that's when you could be running a risk. If you can find maybe a tutorial on this magic platform that we find so many of the breakdown, and you see it yourself, like you sit there and you watch it and you feel like, oh, I got a good grasp on it, like I said, more power to you, right? But also know that if you see that same video and you're like, kind of like, I don't know, that I don't know is like, is it really worth it? Because at the end of the day, it's like you have a broken LCD on a 6400, kind of making it half unusable, right? You can still use the viewfinder, but kind of half unusable because you can't review, and it makes it less convenient when you don't have that LCD. To replace that camera with a working LCD is going to cost you a lot more than $300. So if it's $300 with a risk, If it's $300 with a guarantee, it's gonna be worth it. That's just the way that I see it. So, but it is up to you. And like I said, if you feel up to it, I would say you have a crack at it. And to give you the story, that's a great story to bring up, because my experience in repairing phones, and that is why I shoot Sony today. I had a Sony camera that, through my CameraJunkie wheeling and dealing, I got my hands on this Sony NEX3 camera. Really wasn't a good camera, right? Not that it wasn't bad, it just was the first iteration of the Sony mirrorless, so battery life was horrendous, like beyond horrible. So I barely used the camera at all because it would always die by the time that you would actually go to use it. I was scrolling the pages of OfferUp, my favorite, used item platform, and I came across an A6000 camera, and it was broken. And it said like it doesn't turn on, it doesn't do anything, and just checking in on Aiden. Right, it was broken, it doesn't do anything, but it came with the NPF 50 battery. And at that time, the battery was going for like $60 on Amazon, and the guy was asking $50 for the camera and the battery. So I offered him $40, and he was like, sure. So the way that I saw it is like, if I wanted to just go buy an extra battery, which I was thinking about for my old NEX3 camera, I'm like, it will cost me $60. So right now, picking up this Sony branded, not like a Wasabi branded battery, even though used, is costing me $40, and I get a free camera, even though it's broken, a free camera to mess around with. Well, that's exactly what I did. I put the batteries to charge, and I put that and set it off to the side, and then I just, disassembled that A6000 camera to complete pieces. Once I disassembled it, I saw from my experience that it looked like somebody tried to do a repair on this, or the other thing was like that they actually did it like maliciously, and they didn't really connect all the things in the camera, like effectively rendering it useless. Okay? I like to think that people aren't that malicious, and I think that somebody tried to do something with their camera and they went in way over their head and wasn't able to put the puzzle back together again. So, with my expertise and like my background in that field is basically called like computer engineering or computer electronics engineering, is basically like I have a general ability to read the motherboards themselves, the information, and break that down as a schematic. So with that being said, just using my background in electronic repair, I was able to put the camera back together as I saw the puzzle pieces would go, and I just put the puzzle pieces back together. And when I put the battery into the camera, luckily it turned on and everything was working, and it looked like all the bells and whistles were on. But immediately, as soon as I turned it on, the camera was saying, no memory card, no memory card. And I was like, okay, we're having an issue with the memory card or the memory card slot, which if you can't record the files to the memory card, that also kind of renders the camera useless. So I was like, okay, I can see that, it's like it's working, it's turning on, but if it's not even recognizing the memory card, then all is lost, right? But then something hit me, and it realized that I didn't look at a tutorial myself. I didn't look on YouTube to see if I had done things correctly. I literally went 100% on my intuition on that. And when I went on my intuition, I kind of said, let me backtrack if I did all the steps correctly. Well, I looked at a couple of tutorials on YouTube, and one of them gave me what I needed, which was, it showed me that this puzzle piece that I had put in was backwards, and it was literally the connection between the memory card and the motherboard. So once again, I retracted and I disassembled the camera again, got to that point and flipped the cable according to what I saw on the, on the disassembly video on YouTube. Put everything back together, and lo and behold, that camera was 100% working. It now recognized the memory cards, and I started using a Sony A6000. Right away, I took the lens, which was the kit lens off that NEX3, and started putting it on the A6000. And I was like impressed with what the camera could do, but I really wasn't impressed with the final images that I was getting out of the camera until I got my hands on the piece de resistance, which is this bad boy right here, the Metabones EF to E mount T adapter, which mounts on the back end Sony camera and effectively renders and makes your Sony camera a Canon EF mount. Boom. So then I put this in front of my A6000, and then I put my favorite lenses, that being the 24 to 105 f4L series Canon lens, and my other lens here that I still haven't got rid of, which is my Canon 50mm f1.4. And this is one of the lenses that I still use with this setup. And as soon as I took my first image with that 50mm, okay, on the Sony A6000, like as soon as I put quality glass in front of that sensor in that kit, I was blown away. I was like, oh my god, everything that I was like saying, like that I was not happy with the images, I was completely stunned, blown away. And that led to another part of the story when I actually transitioned from Canon to Sony, and it was because that camera being used ended up dying on me because it had already been put through the ringer. Well, when it died on me, I kind of tried to go back to Canon, and I couldn't. Straight up. I looked at my two Canon cameras and I was like, you cannot do what I was getting done with this A6000. I need to get me another A6000. And I went right back to OfferUp and found another one. Super happy that I was able to find one within like the first couple of days of me looking. And that started my transition from Canon to Sony. I first sold my camera bodies and then started piece by piece replacing each piece of glass that I was using for my Canon setup onto the Sony. And now I'm native Sony. Sony, one and only. Says, I love the way Epidemic does stems downloads without words. Yes, absolutely. Says, Rich Graham, it's crazy that you can take out certain instruments on different tracks too. Yeah, like it literally breaks everything down with Epidemic. It's so dope. And those are the reasons why it's not just like, and not that I'm taking anything away, but it's not like Stream Beats, right? Where Stream Beats, it's what they have and you can use it, which is great. But with Epidemic, I get to use it the way that I want to. And I think that's a lot in that. That's why I continue to advocate for what I use and just let you know how I use it and why I use it. Because I think that's the biggest thing. Some people be like, I use this, but they don't explain to you why or how. I think that's where I've tried to be a little different. Says, catch that guy and bring him on stream. I'm not sure what it says. Sony approved repairs, I guess. I'm not that good. Okay. Can you fix my camera, bro? I could fix your camera. Where are you, sir? Are you on the East Coast? And if you can, yeah, you know what? DM me on Facebook as well. I'll look up the prices of the parts that I can get, and we'll see what we can do. Like Sammy fried his A6100, and me understanding these cameras, I know that his motherboard is shot. It's on. So that's like the heart and soul of the camera. That doesn't mean that the battery compartment, the memory card slot, the mount, the sensor itself, the microphone, like everything else on that camera works, and it would be a lot cheaper to just replace the motherboard. So when his camera fried, I offered to replace the motherboard for him, the same way. All right, so Rich is going to sleep, and that was 15. Was it? What time was that? Come on. Okay, not too bad. That was less than 10 minutes ago. Okay. Kevin saying good night. Same as Caleb. I keep saying Caleb because that's my own thing. Just somebody else that I know. Caleb is saying good night to Rich. I did that with the PS2 a long time ago, before YouTube tutorials were big thing. When I opened it and tore up some ribbon cables. Oh man, look, I could tell you I fixed so many game consoles in my day. I have an original PlayStation with a mod chip that I installed. And I even wanted to go like next level. I even changed like the color of the LEDs, so the traditional PlayStation would light up green, mine lights up red or blue, I think. I don't remember. So many different things that I was already inside my PlayStation changing. But that was me. But, for that reason, just bringing this comment back up saying tore up some ribbon cables, that's kind of what I was going to explain and I forgot to mention, which was my experience with electronics allows me to see what's there differently. So that even though I'm opening up something for the first time, I know what these ribbon cables look like. I know how they're hidden, and I know how the hinges are like detached correctly so that you don't cause damage and rip a ribbon cable that then ends up costing you a lot more, and even with the time. So that's the experience that, like I always say, if you feel comfortable with it, yeah, if it seems simple enough. But then also know that these camera companies, they are building the inside of these cameras to look confusing, to look like hidden, so that you don't know where the connections are, so that you do cause mistakes if you don't have that experience. And they put that in there. It says, hey, had to rewind to catch what you were saying. Haha, you're looking at side address. So what you have now, dynamic mic. Pod mic is end address. Exactly. That's exactly what I was saying. Like, I'm looking for a side address dynamic, which I haven't found. Somebody, it was Todd. It was Todd, Christmas Clatter, who I started one of his comments. He gave me a microphone to look into. Because there's so many microphones, man. Microphones is like, there are so many more microphones that you can find that could be of high quality that most people would have never heard of. It's something that's a lot different than cameras. Oh, Charles Richard is in the house saying, hey Lewis, watching your stream, drinking a blackberry hot tea. Nice. Well, I hope you're enjoying yourself. Let me see if I say this right. He's got a question. John Vander Voort. Did I say? No, Van de Voort. Hopefully I said that correct. John Vander Voort. The question says, what are some cool sites to learn Stream Deck and download buttons? I just picked up the XL and found your channel, and Tom Buck mentioned a big fan of both of you guys. Super cool. Well, the first thing that I would tell you to do is to actually download the Elgato Stream Deck application from Elgato. So if you haven't done that, do that first. I just had a Zoom meeting with Kali just this week, and she's had her Stream Deck for a little bit, and it was the same thing. You go in there, and once you have the application installed in your computer, you're going to see it. Okay, actually, you know what? Let's do this. Okay. let's do this real quick. I barely do this, but we're gonna go into live demo mode so that you're gonna see what I see. Right? Let me make sure that I get this right. Boom. Okay, so we're in live demo mode. Now you should be seeing what I see. You're seeing everything here on my desktop. Right here on the upper right hand corner, if you can see where my mouse is, you're going to see these little dots. This is the Stream Deck configuration, and this is what you see. This is the Stream Deck application. Once it's installed, okay, you have the ability to download what are called profiles for a variety of different applications. So right here you can see that I have Ecamm, I have YouTube, Streamlabs OBS, Twitch, Twitch Studio, Twitch, Twitter, and even System, which is basically just anything that you want done within your computer, even as something as simple as a text, open an application, or a hotkey command. Everything could be added very easily and simply on this program, with this program. But this is like the key component. This is how you're going to work with the Stream Deck. So once you're here and you have this installed, the next step that you're going to do is that you're going to click on this little plus sign with all the keys, and that's going to open up the Stream Deck store. Now, all of this is absolutely free. So this is like the companion to the configure of the Stream Deck. And this is where you're going to click in the plugins, and it's going to give you all the available plugins that you have. All you have to do is simply just click it. It installs within seconds, and it's already automatically implemented, allowing you to take the buttons that you just downloaded and implement them right into your Stream Deck right off the bat. So that's that. Oh, it looks like somebody's getting a little upset. I need to check on my son. Then the next step is icons. That you have icon packages that you can download just the same way, and once again, absolutely free, that give you a variety of different icons. So I've downloaded, as you can see, it says uninstall, because I downloaded quite a few just to test them out, because I was really messing around with the Stream Deck. I'm absolutely in love with this thing. And then you even have music that you can use available to download directly for your live streams from Elgato. But for those of you who know, I wouldn't recommend using this, because if for whatever reason they decide to change the, I guess the copyright rights on any of these sounds, if it's not something that's coming from like a source that I'm paying for, and paying for a service to make sure that I don't have to worry about it, I'm going to be using my sounds from Epidemic and my music from Epidemic just the same way, because I know that just as long as I've created it in the time while I have their membership, I'm covered for life. I don't ever have to worry about it. Now, sound effects is a little different, right? And even these sound effects, if you want to download them, I would honestly tell you, I would probably download them, copy them to the computer, and then after that fact, guys getting loud. And then after the fact, I would do like a type of pitch shift, tweak it so that the sound is similar but not exactly the same on like a waveform scale. That way, that would make me feel safer for using them for my live streams or anything like that. If it isn't that, pretty much I'm not gonna be using it. But icons, plugins, all day. So that's where you would download them from. And then when you want to apply them, right? So let's just see. Let me go into this folder here, right? Let's say I want to, okay, I want to change this here, right? This icon will apply here, showing the overlay and the connection to that button. But this little arrow here is what I'm going to click to change the icons. I have it set from the file, create a new icon, which would open up a completely different web page on Elgato's website that gives you the ability to create or upload any file that you have and cut it down into like a crop of an icon so that you can use it, which is what you see on the screen right now. My little MCJ, Mr. Camera Junkie, buy me a coffee logo button is something that I created using that create a new icon, or you can open from the Stream Deck icon library. The icon library is where you're going to find the icons that you've downloaded yourself. And you can see mine's taking a good hot minute because I downloaded quite a few. So so here we go, and as you can see, these are the icons that now you can use for your Stream Deck. So whatever, it doesn't matter which application that you're using on what, right? If you've downloaded the icon, you can use that icon for whichever action, you know? Even though it says export frame with the camera, if it's exporting a frame out of anything else that's not a camera, you know, just however it is, it could be opening up a website. If that's what you want to dedicate to be the icon for that website, hey, have at it. So I don't know too many other videos about explaining or downloading icons or anything besides this, because it's pretty much just built into what you're doing here. So that's that for live demo mode. Hopefully that answers your question. It says, oh no, and that thing is a pop filter. No, I know this is a pop filter, but man, I totally freaking blanked on the on the shock mount. I'm not gonna live that one down. That was like, what? Like, just straight, like it was not there. Like that was error, 404. I went to look for that file and there was nothing there. Oh, guitar giveaway channel is here. It says, greeting from Australia, MrCameraJunkie, enjoying the stream. Thank you for stopping by, sir. I appreciate you hanging out. Another person from Australia. It's so awesome that I can have a live stream where I have people from Australia, from all over the world. Like, this is freaking amazing, just it is. Let's see where we're at. All right. Scott says, hey Lewis, can I use my Stream Deck to adjust the volume of my PC speakers? Yes, absolutely. I would show you, but audio functions are completely in there. One of my favorite things is the fact that, I actually haven't been doing it, but for those of you who haven't seen it, oh, what's going on? Oh, we had that screen there, and I don't know what's happening here. What is happening? This is my second angle, and it is having a titty attack right now. What is happening? Okay. Well, that's my second angle. Let's unplug and replug. Let's see. Okay, it looks a bit better. Oh, it's still getting a hard line. You guys are definitely seeing that, right? Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, it's cutting me in half. Okay, anyway. There was a reason why I was mentioning the camera. It had nothing to do with it not working. But yes. Oh, okay, the Stream Deck. Yes, I was talking to Scott. Okay, one of the things that I love, right, is that I have buttons here that control eCam, right? And eCam is what allowing me to switch the cameras like this. So now that I'm switching cameras with eCam, I now have the ability to use eCam as a virtual cam on basically any other platform that I want to use this on. So I use eCam's virtual cam in Zoom. So when I'm in a Zoom meeting, I'm able to mess around and just make an overlay and just another one, right? And just mess around and have a lot of fun with overlays, and like Aiden making a lot of noise, but being able to do everything right from eCam. But because it's a virtual cam, whenever I'm in Zoom, I'm using Zoom buttons, right? What I'm also able to do is to mix them both. So even though I have eCam running in the background and my main window is Zoom, right? I'm still able to put the buttons of switching the cameras back and forth and the another one overlay that I just showed you. I'm able to put all of those buttons in the Zoom so that I can have as much fun in a Zoom call as I do in my regular live streams. So those are one of the added features, but it does everything, man. It can launch your, like, not your shortcuts but your actions in Photoshop. So now it's literally just one button, and I have so many actions that I have set up for my photography that are done automatically on one push. I can't even tell you what a game changer that is, because there's certain things that I do automatically whenever I open up a photograph file in Photoshop. And the first thing is to make a copy of the original, you know, so that you have more information to play with, kind of like doubling up your raw files. And as soon as I do that, like, that's just now a simple button press instead of running around clicking a bunch of stuff. It's just like click, press this, that, so on and so forth. And it just saves so much time on everything. But yeah, you can mute your music up, down, like anything. If so, how? Listen, Scott, you want to know the easiest way to do it? There's a function here. Let's go back to it. Let me see, can I do live demo? Okay, we're back to the demo mode, right? When you go to configure the stream deck here, right? All right. When you go to configure this, let's see. We would add a hotkey. And we would add a hotkey like this. Then it says assign observation stroke. So right now I'll put like the volume up, or whatever hotkey that it would be. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but let's just say it's copy that you want to do. You would hit command copy, and then that becomes the hotkey for it. You can label it and write copy, and then that becomes a hotkey. But there's also audio devices here which allow you to mute, unmute, toggle, and there's even different options that allow you to do this right off of the bat. So I don't even know, how that would work, but I'm not gonna click it because most likely, you see, it's gonna input the default external microphone, which is all the music that you hear. So right off the bat, that's exactly how it would work. So it's just either or, but it's as simple as that. See, and this is that's the magic sound. I didn't even know I had that there. That's like probably the best sound clip that we have. So let me see it.
Uh-oh. I done did something stupid.
Oh, yes, I love it. Oh, I'm never going to forget that I have that there now. That will forever be there. Hopefully that helps out, Scott. If you have more questions, or you still need a little bit more help, like I said, feel free to shoot me a direct message and I'll be happy to help. It says, just noticed you use Rogue Amoeba tools. What are your thoughts on loopback and audio hijack? Okay, well, when I first got the loopback and audio hijack, I got them for my older PC, right? For my older Mac Mini, the i5 2012, and putting that software on that older, slower computer and expecting it to process it for a live stream in real time was asking too much for it. So when I actually got the programs at first, I was like, I think I wasted money here, because it was not what I expected it to be. I was really hoping that I can do everything within audio hijack to kind of process my audio, noise gates, everything like that. And I was trying to do it before I bought the DBX 286S. So that's what I was trying to get it to do, and it didn't match up, right? So that was that, and I just kind of left it as that, like a mistake. Now, I still own the program, so I still had it. I now am running the software and everything off of my my M1 Mac Mini. And this machine is so efficient that I'm actually able to use audio hijack. So for example, that's what I think is actually cleaning up the audio good enough to the point where I'm actually happy with what you're hearing right now. So I'm going to show you like the behind the scenes as well. Right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off the music. Well, I'm just going to pause it, right? And now we're just listening to me. You can hear some of the room tone, but even though I have like noises being taken care of through the noise gate on the DBX 286, buying the inexpensive, cheaply made audio mixer, it actually applied a hissing sound to the audio. Now, because it was coming directly from the machine itself, the self noise that it was creating, I really thought that I was stuck on like, hey, I'm just gonna have to use it as is. But that's when the light bulb came out, and I was like, hold up, I have these programs. Let me see if I can put them to use. And the denoise in Audio Hijack is pretty impressive because of the simple fact that it allows you to learn whatever it is the sound that you're trying to get rid of. So I disconnected everything audio so that there was no other sound, and I just connected it, and it was giving that hissing sound of like the self noise, and I put the denoise on the Rogue Amoeba Audio Hijack to actually copy that. And now it's effectively allowing all other sounds to go through minus the hissing of the self noise, which I'm going to turn off right now so that you can hear what I'm talking about. So that hissing that you're hearing now is a hissing that's coming directly from this machine. And I'm going to turn it on now so that you can see the removal of it. And there you go. And with that, I've been a lot happier with the software now that I'm using it on a much more capable machine. And this M1 could actually process things in real time. And this is the input that you guys are hearing live. And back to the music. Boom, boom. Hopefully that helps out. But as of right now, I've been using it for a little bit, and it's been helping me out. It's been helping out my production right now. So right now, I have no complaints, and I've been pretty happy with both loopback and audio hijack, because I need the loopback to actually get it to kick onto Ecamm. Kevin's got to go. He's got to have a great rest of an stream and evening. English, Lewis says good night, everyone. Artist saying good night to Kevin. John is saying cool demo. Thanks for doing that. I have the app from Elgato, but haven't dived deep. Learned some new things tonight. And great job with the last name. Oh, with my last name. Okay, great, awesome. Thank you, and thank you for both things. For hanging out. I'm glad that I was able to help and show you something new. But just with the Elgato application, you should be all set when it comes to icons and everything. And yeah, thank you. I'm glad that I was able to nail the last name. Kova the Technician says, hey, peace, Mr. Camera Junkie, and the rest of the stream. Scott says, thank you, Lewis. I'm still figuring out how to program my custom PS actions. Yes, those are so dope. Once you get the actions in there, man, they are so worth it. And it was somebody who brought that up to my attention when I was talking about the Stream Deck, like 2 weeks of me getting it, that I was like, this thing is so cool. And I had really just applied it for Final Cut because I've been doing more video editing as of late. So the fact that I've totally bypassed my keyboard, and now it's just my mouse and this little Stream Deck because it's small. Like, let me see if I could show this, right? Because it's the 15 key one, right? You see where my thumb is right here on the corner over here. That's where it sits, and then my fingers automatically know where all the rest of the buttons are. They just do. So just that fact alone, that just having my thumb on that corner, I know how high, how deep, and all the buttons of everything that I'm hitting. I can't tell you how much time that saved me during video editing, and that was even before somebody told me about the Photoshop actions, and I was just like, that is just totally different. Okay, it says, awesome, thanks for the BTS. What audio interface mixer are you using with the DBX 286S? I don't even know the name, bro, because this was the whole thing. I had a cheap, inexpensive audio mixer because I wanted to mix all my audio with the knowledge that I have of audio, right? Which is more towards the old school analog. So me knowing sound from dealing with music and the way that I dealt with it. Looks like Aiden's got hiccups. With the way that I was dealing with audio, I'm used to like faders and just like old school mixing Mackie boards and everything like that. Are you okay? That didn't sound like a hiccup. Yeah, that's a hiccup. Confirmed. Okay. So I bought this Depusheng cheap mixer because it was like $60. It was the only one that I found, like, under $100 that had faders. And I wasn't sure at that time if I was going to continue live streaming or anything like that, but I wanted to get something a little bit better, so I bought it. It worked for a little bit, didn't even last me 6 months, and within like a month or two, it was already giving me excuse me. Let me hydrate. So within a month or two, it had already lost the audio that I would hear from the headphones on the left side. I was already like, I lost all audio, and as you can see here, I only listened to the audio on the left side. So I effectively had to like remove the clips from the back of the like connectors and switch the right audio into the left speaker. Thank God that I had the ability to do that, so that I could hear something on the left side and still keep like the aesthetic that I like. With that being said, it was within 6 months that the entire unit died. And I remembered that name because I ordered it, right? The Depusheng. But I was doing a live stream interview with Elicio Way. Shout out to Primo Elicio Way, for his Creators on the Come Up series. So I had the privilege and the honor to be asked to be on there. And my mixer, that Depusheng one, fully died like 2 days before I'm supposed to go live with Elicio. So on top of my budget, that I didn't have the budget to just buy a Rodecaster, I also needed to find something inexpensive, like that was able to get to me like right away. And I had to suck it up because I had to buy one that did not have faders, which is what I like. So I'm dealing with knobs now. But I bought a cheap like $40 mixer just because I can get it to me within 24 hours. And I was able to do the show with Elicio, but that's when my problem started with my hunt for the freaking hissing sound that I was getting now. Excuse me. So I was disconnecting everything, trying to find out where I was getting this hissing sound from, to then find out that it was the unit that I had bought inexpensively that's making the sound in the first place. Like, it doesn't matter which mic I connect to it, it's gonna make that sound because it's making the sound. So that really bummed me out, but it goes to show you, like that saying, buy it right or buy it twice. I didn't buy it right because I wasn't sure, and not only did I have to buy it twice, but now even 3 times, because that one died on me before I was able to get my Rodecaster, and now this is here. This will effectively become a backup, but now I'm just saving up to get my Rodecaster so that I don't have to worry about bad hissing audio mixing interfaces. And the other thing with me is that because of everything that I have here, I have the need of the minimum of 3, maybe 4 channels. So it's not like I can just get a 2-channel mixer and call it a day. That's not even gonna happen. So that's why I said, you know what, I just need to hold out for my Rodecaster, and that would be the next like upgrade to my setup. I also think that it will help a lot with the sound that is coming out of the live stream, but I also think that the way that I have everything set up right now, I think it sounds good. I think it's clean. I don't think it's because ever since I was able to adjust the hissing sound and I knew where it was coming from, I was able to adjust like the noise gate and all the things on the DBX 286. But I wish I had a name of this thing just to tell you, hey, stay away from it. It literally says it's branded. It's branded Musical Mini Mixer Interface Path PC Interworking Function. Doesn't have a brand. It's just like so Chinese that they don't even put a brand on it, and it's just like what it does. Multifunction mixer audio with Bluetooth or whatever. That's the brand. What it does. It was me mentioning the actions with the Stream Deck a couple of weeks ago. Oh, it was you. Because you see, look, like we're learning from each other, but man, I looked into it and I was like, that is so freaking dope. Because an action is effectively a keystroke. So anything that is a keystroke can effectively become a hotkey, and then that just sets you off in the right place. Okay, it looks like I am at the end of the chat, and yeah, it looks like we're a good time. We're around 2 hours. I try to keep these around 2 hours when I realize what time it is. You know, sometimes we go over, but then that's the fun of it, right? That's like a party that just goes overtime. But as always, I want to thank everyone for hanging out and stopping by. I appreciate it. I want to thank everyone for the support that you have given me throughout. I'm like I said, I'm still being optimistic. I'm trying to figure out. This is my last weekend/week to try to figure out how I'm gonna get to New York. It is the thing that's like predominantly on the mind. I can't explain it. I have a feeling. I have a feeling that I need to be there. And I can't say why. I just have a feeling like I need to be there, and that something big and beneficial for me and for Aiden is going to come about me being in New York next week. If it doesn't happen, you know, I'm not going to cry over spilled milk. But like I said, it's not going to be because of a lack of effort. I'm going to do everything in my power because that's how I feel right now. And I hope that I make it so that then I can talk to you guys and be like, this happened and this is why I needed to be in New York. So hopefully I have good stories to tell in the upcoming week. But with that being said, I want to thank you once again for hanging out with me, being part of the crew, sharing your most precious commodity, which is your time, being so generous with your time and your kindness to everyone here within the community. Absolutely love you guys, man. You guys make this the best part of my week every week. So thank you. And take care of yourself. Have a great week. Know that I'm going to be live next Saturday. Hopefully from New York. But if not, regardless, you can always count on me because nothing is going to stop me from being in Club Camera Junkie. So, okay, it says I just saw this comment from Scott saying, "What's for dessert, Lewis?" You know what's for dessert, man? We're going Krispy Kreme. It's going Krispy Kreme, man. I can't. There's nothing else that's worth it. Well, Krispy Kreme and cheesecake. That's it. That's it. Cheesecake and Krispy Kreme. Oh, it says someone bought me 3 coffees. Oh, thank you so very much. Oh, that was John. Thank you so very much, John. I appreciate it. Like, that means so much to me. You know, helping me with my coffee addiction. For those of you who haven't seen, upgrade your skills mugs available at Press and Sew. Cheers, John. Thank you very much. And yeah, but going back to it, cheesecake or Krispy Kremes. Says I have the DBX 286S. I absolutely love it. Probably the hissing voice will go away if you get another interface that won't need to remove it in the software. Exactly, and that's what I'm hoping. You know, and if I get like I said, if I get the another brain fart. Is it Podcaster? Yeah. Yeah, the Rode Podcaster, right? Rodecaster. Oh. Podcaster is one of their microphones. So that's why it's in there, but, you know, make a left and a right. Okay. The Rodecaster Pro is that audio interface that I know will definitely not cause a hiss. You know, that's what I said. It's like, buy it right or buy it twice. I'm going to get that one. That one is going to exceed all of my needs from here to probably period. And especially with the way Rode works, where they actually like update all of their current hardware. You know, the Rodecaster today is not what the Rodecaster was when it came out, and it's all because of software updates. It's a really great company. Says enjoy the rest of your weekend. Yes, likewise. Says good luck, dude. Hope something pulls through. Good night to you and the little man. Have a great weekend, brother. Thank you for hanging out. Scott's bringing the donuts always. Says you're welcome. Great job. Thank you very much, sir. It does mean a lot to me. Says Rodecaster Pro. Yeah, running a blank on the name. Rode has silly names. Yeah, because that is not like what I said was something that I totally made up. No. The Podcaster is actually a higher level dynamic microphone. So they have the Rode Pod mic, and then they have the Rodecaster, but then they have the Podcaster microphone as well. So it's like, yeah, it's the Podcaster, and then I believe even a Procaster. So, but they're also a trip because I learned something new from them the other day, that the reason why they called their condenser microphone the NT and the NT1 and all this is so that when you read their name, their company name, and the letters NT together, it's called the rodent, like a rat. Like it's like a wordplay. The rodent one. So the Rode NT1 is the rodent one. That's very interesting, but I thought that was a little bit of funny trivia there. So, yep, Rode does have silly names. But with that being said, thank you once again to everyone for hanging out. It is getting late. We still have 11 amazing people here. And like always, I want to thank every single one of you. Thanks for hanging out. Like I said, we're going to do it all over again next week. Same time, same channel, 10:55 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And hopefully next week from New York. So you will see me here, and hopefully I will see you there with me on the live stream. Have a great night, everyone. See you next week. And the outro.